And with that, let's start the press point.
All right, let's get those signs up. How's the volume out there? Cool. Welcome, everybody. My name is Brett Vandenheuvel. I'm the director of Columbia Riverkeeper, and I'm so thrilled to be here today with all of you. So, what we're seeing in Vancouver and along the Columbia is threat after threat of proposals to bring dirty fossil fuels through our community. And we're here today to stand up to say that we value our community, our families, clean air, clean water, healthy labor more than dirty oil. Yeah. So it's a great opportunity to tell state leaders that tonight, and we have a great lineup of folks. We're going to get to hear from all of you tonight inside. I encourage everyone to sign in. But first, we have a few speakers, some of the local leaders in the area. So I would like to introduce our first speaker tonight, who is David Seabrook. So Dave has worked for the Vancouver Fire Department for 23 years, and he's currently serving as battalion chief. He's speaking today in his personal capacity, and David's a longtime Clark County resident. He holds a master's in public administration from Washington State University here in Vancouver, and extensive training in emergency preparedness and emergency response. Please welcome Dave Seabrook.
Hello, friends. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Brent. After the recent decision by the Port of Vancouver to support bringing fracked oil into Vancouver and shipping it out onto the Columbia River, I knew it was time to speak out, even though it sometimes makes me nervous. But we all have questions concerning the public safety. When the port made their decision, the Quebec oil train disaster was only a very recent history. We know also there will be a negative impact to the quality of life here in the Couve. But what worries me most is the biggest emergency facing our whole society. What worries me most is the threat to our shared human habitat. Amen. Climate change is a slow-motion runaway train. All the CO2 we've been putting into our atmosphere has exceeded the natural system's ability to buffer it. The land and the atmosphere have warmed significantly, sea levels are rising, and something like 90% of the heat and the CO2 has been absorbed into our oceans, and as a result, the oceans are more acidic. We already have failures of fisheries on the Hood Canal and at Willapa Bay. The overwhelming consensus of our scientists tells us that we have very limited amount of time to do something to change the trajectory. I don't think we really understand the forces we've set in motion. But even if we don't know where this runaway train will end up, there's some things we can do. The good news, some say, is that we might be able to avoid some of the worst consequences of climate change. We must all, for example, change our energy consumption habits. We also have to take back our hacked political system. By showing up to hearings like this, by making our voices heard, and by taking ownership in the decisions that affect our shared community resources, such as the Port of Vancouver. Now's the time for us to transition away from oil. Our shared community resources also include the air we breathe and the climate system that supports a sustainable food production system. For too long, we've used our atmosphere and natural systems as a trash heap on which we dump the fossil fuel byproducts. We simply can do this no longer. We want our community leaders to focus on the development of energy solutions. We don't want and can't afford projects that are just about burning more and more oil. So we need a system here that puts a cap on and a price on carbon emissions. We must withdraw our public subsidies from the oil companies.
All right.
We simply cannot accept a project like the Tesoro Savage oil train facility here in Vancouver. I say no way, enough is enough.
Absolutely.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Our next speaker is Cager Claybaugh. Cager is the president of the International Longshore Workers Union, Local 4. Cager has been a member of ILWU and working at the Port of Vancouver since 1995. And as most of you know, the ILWU has been locked out by the Port of Vancouver, and United Grain Corporation is not employing union workers. A few months ago, I was at a hearing where I heard Cager tell the Port of Vancouver that, quote, it's time to start supporting American workers over foreign corporations' profits.
All right.
I'm giving your speech for you. Under Cager's leadership, the Local 4 is standing up for workers' rights and officially opposed the Tesoro Savage oil terminal. Welcome, Cager.
All right.
I'm Cager Clayblock, president of ILW Local 4 in Vancouver. And just to clear up, we're not locked out by the Port of Vancouver, but we are locked out by United Grain Corporation. So, as president of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, we're just here tonight to, stand up for our port and our community. Even though I believe that the port's made some bad decisions, it's still a great place to work, and we want to keep it this way. In my 20 years down at the Port of Vancouver, I've seen a lot of mishaps. I've seen a lot of rail cars on their side.